People drive through and they say, oh, Iowa, it's so beautiful. And it's like, if you really knew, we can't drink the water, we can't breathe the air, the soil's dead. It's this facade.
The politicians, they never once talk about the soil loss. They don't talk about the pollution, the water. They don't talk about the attrition. Mining, we're mining the ground. It's just not good.
The factory farming model of these confinement buildings, in my opinion, is the worst thing that's happened to the state of Iowa and other states where it's in.
Today what we have in Iowa is about 10,000 factory farm operations that raise 22 million hogs, millions of beef cattle, and produce the country's most eggs.
It just makes me cringe when Iowans talk about they're number one in soybeans, they're number one in hog production, they're number one in that. We're number one in sacrificing our land to agribusiness, to deplete our natural resources, to leave nothing here but a desert.
We have a dominant system of agriculture in Iowa that is essentially monoculture farming. It's heavily dependent on chemical fertilizers and animal waste to fertilize farm fields that oftentimes are over-applied and end up running off into our waterways.
Farmers in Iowa are constantly told that what they're doing is a good thing because they're feeding the world. They're not. The world is not eating these corn and soybeans. Most of the corn and soybeans grown here go to livestock feed, and a lot of the corn goes to ethanol production.
Family farmers faced a choice. They either had to get big, grow their operations, or get out of farming. The impact that that's had on our rural communities is tragic.
Each small town now has boarded up businesses on Main Street, and the population keeps declining out here all the time. Family farming has almost disappeared.
While ethanol plants and packing plants have been presented as growth opportunities for rural Iowa, these are short-term fixes and are not going to bring long-term solutions to our rural communities.
Our schools have closed, several schools from different districts around here. We have very few businesses keeping these small towns going. If this is what's such a big economic boom, our schools ought to be thriving, our small towns should be thriving. It's all about the mighty buck.
Farmers in Iowa continue engaging in this monoculture cropping system, planting corn and soybeans year after year in rotation because they're trapped in a system that's dominated by big agriculture.
We all of our citizens need to understand that this is an unsustainable agricultural system we're in.
What we're losing is very precious and important. We're losing the connection to the land, losing the farmer who farms that land and cares about community and cares about the food that grows. It's becoming much more just a business.
Ultimately, what we need is a food and farming system that's good for farmers, that's good for workers, that's good for eaters, and that's good for our environment.
There was a time when the average number of crops grown on an Iowa farm was 34, and now it's 2. In the environment, diversity builds resilience. Diversity in our ag economy builds resilience too.
Society has evolved into bigger is better, and it's not.
It's dog eat dog, and we got to change that. We got to get back to more humanity.
If we don't do something now to protect this land and make it available for the common good in Iowa, for better public health, for better soils, for better waters, for a better economy, then we're going to be hurting worse than we could ever imagine.